All right, say hey everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. I have Helga judging my intro music now. It is nice to see everyone bright and early in the chat. Joined alongside me today is my guy LJ from H-Town in a lovely Minute Maid Park, by the way, behind you. LJ, how are you? How's things going in your season?
Doing great, Jose. Going through some spots today. I didn't particularly like the card, but I found a couple situations we could probably take advantage of. So hey, let's get to it. See if we can find some money. And shout out to the chat, man. Troy, Nasty Nate, Ron Crawford, regular guys up in here. So
Yeah,
let's
it
get to
is
work.
nice to see our regular guys like Nasty Nate in the chat, and even him saying that the intro is horrible. So I guess I've got to go and find a new intro song. It seems like this week, but it's nice to see everyone early in the chat. Shout out to first of all our first shout out here, Morgan Spooner. Last night, having a great day, having the best day of his season. He's saying, shout out to you, Morgan, all given out right here. Appreciate you, Morgan. Nice to see you, Ronnie, Troy, Nasty Nate, our guy, Ron Crawford, Spreadsheet Dog, play the day in. We'll talk about that more when we get there. And Stacks, as always, in here. Rafael Devers, over 1.5 bases. We will talk about all of these plays when we get there. So shout out to you guys. Look at this. Silver Silks, or Silver Skills, I should say, knows how to get into my heart. He says he loves the intro. So shout out to you, Silver. Nice to see you as well. On the other side, Von Polo says it is in fact horrible. So we might have to go back to the drawing board. And by the way, Stacks, actually, new Stacks is Vladimir Guerrero, because I guess Mr. Devers might not be in the lineup, I'm assuming. Justin, you'll have to let us know in the chat. But let's get right after it, LJ. We've got a full, well, not really a full slate of baseball, 13 games to talk about. It's going to be a fun one here. And of course, Astros Red Sox will make things more interesting. Angels Nationals starts off our card. By the way, I had a middling day yesterday, 4-4. I was up 1.01 of a unit yesterday. So, you know, whatever. We'll take a winning day. However it comes, we'll fucking take it. So
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to that. It was very fun, and you know, it was a good day, I guess. So Angels Nationals here. Jack Konwowski here. I can still not say his name versus Mackenzie Gore. Now, obviously, with everyone else looking at this line, I'm sure everyone's thinking this is a pretty far line, a pretty steep line for the Nationals here. Jack's had 2 appearances in the majors so far, 7 earned runs and 5 earned runs. Just not inspiring confidence. He went down to the minor leagues for a little bit. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in the minors. Typically, that's kind of like a good sign that we want to see pitchers, you know, go down the minors after struggling in the majors. They get their second shot back up here, and you try to make note of it and see how they do here. But AA appearances doesn't make me feel great, truthfully. On top of that, everyone knows I like strikeout to walk percentages here. His last 3 starts, or I should say 2 starts, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, but he hit 2 guys as well. 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, just not the control that I'm trying to back here. So I'm ending up staying off the Angels. I think the Nationals are probably a little bit too much on the favorite side as well, but 84% of the bets, 86% of the money on the Nationals here. Line opening up at -135, actually, now up to -157 here. So line just skyrocketing for the Nationals. Makes sense. I think it's a little bit too pricey for me, but I'm staying off this game. LJ, any thoughts on this one?
No, I'm staying off as well. I'm not in particular betting any of these 2 teams right here. But if I had to make a play, I would lean to the over just because the Nationals 6 out of the last 9 has gone over. And you just mentioned about this pitcher gives up a lot of hits and runs. So I can easily see it going over. Mackenzie Gore, 4.66 ERA. his last 6 starts, he's averaged 4 runs allowed. So I could see it going over, but definitely did not have a play on this game at all.
Okay. No action for LJ, no action for myself either. We keep it rolling here to Texas, New York. Interesting line here. I thought it was kind of a short line for New York. I'm not going to lie. Marcus Stroman versus Andrew Heaney on the bump. And Andrew Heaney, funny enough, has been one of the pitchers this year that the market has kind of been spot on. You know, whenever the market's moving in his direction or there's a fishy line, he typically comes through. Last time was one of those occasions. 6 innings, 1 hit ball against the Astros last time out. It was a home run, that 1 hit, so he gave up 1 earned run. But solid against St. Louis before that, 6 earned runs. Really, the market, I think, just kind of knows when he's going to pitch well, and it's very interesting to watch it all unfold here. On the other side, we've got Marcus Stroman, who, you know, he's had an interesting season, to say the least. Up and down, sure. His last appearance against the Blue Jays, 7 earned runs. Before that, against the Red Sox, 5 of them, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. Hasn't had a good start since the 10th of last month, really. So he's looking to bounce back, and he's been kind of in a rut for the last 2 months that, truthfully, I have not backed him in a long time here, and it's been scary to try to back him based off his game logs here. 87% of the bets and 97% of the bets, or the money, excuse me, on the Yankees here, and it's moved up, what, like 2 cents for the Yankees here from minus 138 opener to minus 140. Honestly, this does feel like a Rangers are semi-live in this spot kind of situation here. And let's go to the totals here. 87% of the bets, 97% of the money. Oh, that's on the money line, actually. Excuse me. Let me switch to totals here. 82% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over in this game. And let's see where this opened up at, because I still have the NFL odds from yesterday. LJ, I put in a parlay, a rare parlay for me yesterday.
Okay.
The Padres money line, which squeaked out that game barely. And of course, I parlayed that with the Raiders, who lose on a last second field goal, which really pissed me off. In this game, by the way, this total opened up at 9.5 and is now a 10. 9.5 juice to the under has moved all the way up to a 10. So offense expected here today. LJ,
Yep.
what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely both of these pitchers. I looked at their stats and they give up a lot of hits. Henney, last 6 road starts, 35 hits. Stroman, 21 hits in his last 5 starts. So you mentioned his numbers as of late, 14 earned runs, last 3 home starts. So he's been giving it up. And he has a 5.34 ERA at home. So he hasn't been very, very well on the mound. And Andrew Heaney, as you said, he's been tricky, but they have been pricing him very well. But I still believe that this game goes over. But I'm going to go first 5 over. I'm with Rance. He put it in the chat. First 5 over 5. Heaney 7. His last 4 out of his last 5 road starts. The first 5 has gone over. 7-3 to the first 5 over. Last 10 of the Rangers as well. And the Yankees, the last 3 home starts for Stroman, first 5 has gone over. And they're 8-1-1 in the first 5 over in their last 10. So first 5 over 5 is what I played. I believe the full game goal was over as well. But these 2 pitchers, like I mentioned, very vulnerable. So I'm going to take advantage of the first 5 and see if we can get some runs early.
All right, first 5 over for LJ. I'm staying off. Like I said, I think the Rangers are live in this game. I think, like you said, there's going to be offense scored on both sides. So can semi-trust the Rangers here, but I'm not going to move on it yet. We'll see at the end of the card. If I don't have much action, I might end up circling back and coming to Los Rangers here. Let's talk about our featured matchup today here, LJ. Red Sox Astros. Astros win yesterday. Thank God we took that Astros money yesterday as well. That was nice. I was a little disappointed the first 5 team total over didn't hit, but that's fine. We got the money line as well, so no biggie there. Hunter Brown versus James Paxton here. Paxton, who, again, I thought at the end of this season would run out of gas, has not pitched all that much and thought his tank would be empty, but he's not looked horrible since coming over to the Red Sox. Hunter Brown kind of on that opposite trend. He started off his season horribly. And the Astros stuck with him, and he repaid their confidence. And the last 2 months basically has been dominating. He's had two bad starts in the last 2 months. Honestly, all the other ones have been shutouts, 1 or 2 earned runs. His last 3 starts include Rangers, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run there. His other bad start of the last 2 months, Pittsburgh, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. And at Oakland, 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run allowed there. Just really good. He's been, so you can't really say much. Again, Paxton on the other side. I thought, like I said, maybe he runs out of gas here at the end of the season. He's at 99 innings pitched right now, through 150 innings in 2019. But obviously, as you guys know, 2019 feels like a fucking decade ago. Last year through 96. So we'll see how he ends up, holding up. His last few appearances for him as well have been solid. He had a bad one to start his career, restart his Boston career with the Red Sox here. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned in his first appearance. Bounced back against the Royals in a big spot, because you guys probably know, as I said many times, that series against the Royals was huge. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs for him there. The issue is here, LJ, and I want to back my Sunday Red Sox here. Sunday Red Sox have been good money all year. 76% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Astros here. And we do have movement towards the Astros, which is scary. I don't like going up against this movement all that often. It opened up -122, goes up to -138, settles around -136. It even got up to -140 at one point, and coming back down each time does give me a little more confidence here. But I do want to back the Sunday Red Sox here, and I didn't last week, and I was kicking myself over it, so I'm going to do it this week. 79% of the bets, 73% of the money on the over. Line for the total has only moved 5 cents in the direction of the over here. A 10.5 juice to the under here for everyone. But I'm going to move on the Boston Red Sox here. Full game money line. Again, Sunday Red Sox are a real thing. I believe they're not going to get swept here by Los Astros. So full game money line for me. I'll give you guys that price here in a second. LJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not mad at you on that one. I believe that Boston probably will bounce back and avoid the sweep. I'm not going to bet it just because I've already won the first 2 games with the Astros. So for me to win 3 in a row is highly unlikely, in my opinion, because this is baseball, man. They've already won the series. So if the Red Sox win today, I don't think the Astros will bat an eye for the most part. But Hunter Brown, he's been dealing, like you mentioned. He's 8-4 since June 1st. All 8 of those wins have been by the run line. The Astros have won 9 out of their last 10 versus this division, the AL East. But Hunter Brown has never pitched in Fenway. And I believe that probably will be some hesitation there, in my opinion. And you mentioned Paxton. He is a lefty. Astros like to bat versus lefties. He's had 10 innings, 11 hits, 5 earned runs in his 2 starts with Boston. But I'm kind of with you. Boston on Sundays is a thing. I agree. I have the stat right here. They're 12-5 in the 3rd game of a home series. And I believe most of those games have been on Sundays. So I would lean Boston, but I didn't bet it just because I just want to stay off. I don't want to give the bookies back money that I've won in case the Astros do sweep them, because they are the better team right now. And also the Astros are 20-10-1 to the under as a road favorite. So it possibly could go under, but you say the money's on the over. So conflicting situations there. So I just ultimately stayed off. I'll just enjoy and watch it and see what happens.
I am officially on the Red Sox here. My +128. By the way, everyone, some very interesting little breaking news here. I guess the U.S. is going to end up winning the gold medal game against France, but the women's basketball made it a fucking sweat for everyone that bet that shit. They're going to win by like 3-4 points, but they win the gold and not even close to covering. So fading the U.S. in basketball, at least spread-wise, has been very profitable for all you guys out there. I'm sure you guys are betting women's basketball out there, especially at 10 in the morning. All right, at Red Sox for me, as I mentioned, +128. Nothing for LJ. We keep rolling to the Oakland, Toronto, I should say. Chris Bassett, JP Sears on the bump here. Two pitchers I actually do like. JP Sears has not been a trendy lefty guy to back this year. He's had his moments of being really bad and embarrassing you if you back him here, but back-to-back great starts. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run against the White Sox. So take that with a grain of salt. And then at the Giants, who hit lefties really well. I don't think they will for much longer, but they hit lefties really well. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs there. 9 Ks, 1 walk for Mr. JP Sears. Now, we have obviously Toronto Blue Jays on the other side with Bassett. And I'm pretty surprised Bassett's still on the team, honestly. I guess no one wanted to trade for that contract he has. But he's a solid pitcher, and I really think that, if you back him more than you don't, you'll probably be in the green. Just depends on odds, obviously. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs last time against Baltimore, and that was in a back-to-back spot against Baltimore. His first start was 4 innings, 5 earned runs. So a good bounce back, and it's that veteran savvy he uses to make his adjustments, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know, LJ. It's just kind of scary to try to back the Blue Jays with their offense being kind of anemic and their bullpen being as bad as it is. 87% of the bets, 84% of the money on the Blue Jays here. It's gone from minus 140 to minus 149. So slight movements up. It's actually even gone back down to minus 145 here at Bet Online. So it does make the A's semi-appealing to me, honestly, because like I said, the bullpen for the Blue Jays is pathetic, and I do not want to back it here. If you guys want some numbers to that, and I will firm up my date ranges here for everyone. So we can do the 19th to today, just like I have been. So from the All-Star break to today, Toronto's bullpen 27th in baseball, a 5.81 ERA. Sure, their FIP is a 4.8 or 4.9, excuse me, but really bad since the All-Star break. Not something I want to back here. So it'd be A's or nothing for me, but I think it's going to be nothing for right now. What do you think, LJ?
I lean under in this game. Both games have already gone under, and Spears has been good. He has a 4.35 ERA on the road. But besides the Astros loss, he had 7 earned runs. The 5 starts, he only had 4 earned runs total. And they've won 6 out of his last 7 starts. So he's been money. And Bassett, you mentioned, hasn't been good of late. 4-8 in his last 12 starts. He's played 8 games this month and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, the whole team, the Blue Jays. They played 8 games this month. 3 runs or less in 5 of those 8 games. And you just mentioned their offense has been anemic. So I can easily see this game going under. It's a heavy lean for me. And also, we got to always look at Vlad. He's on a 22-game hit streak. So I wouldn't be mad at Justin McKelvey's stacks play. Vlad over 1.5 bases could easily hit. So that's a great play right there. But I didn't make anything in this one. They're both 500 teams, and I just, like I said, don't like investing in those type of situations. And plus, Oakland, as a road dog, they're 1-19 in the third game of the series. So,
Jesus,
situations here. So, a heavy lean under, but I didn't bet it.
Yeah, that's a good stat right there. But thank you for reminding me of our friend Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day. It is, in fact, Vladimir Guerrero. And yeah, he's been on fire. So a great bet here. I like it. Justin, congratulations on the success last night on stacks. Let's keep it rolling. Stacks, 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 stacks. Stacks, 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 stacks. Oh boy, the U.S. really wants to blow this game, LJ.
What happened?
They really want to blow this game. 3.8 seconds left. They're up 3. France has the ball. They're going up the court. They're taking. Oh my God. Okay. Hey. They hit a bank 3 at the buzzer. But I think that her foot was over the line. Like, it was clearly a 2 and not a 3.
Serious?
Oh my God, the U.S. basketball is really trying to make people sweat right now. Yeah, sure. Her foot was clearly on the line.
Oh, damn.
Damn. Oh, that right there was close. Oh my God.
That
See,
would have
the
been
U.S.
epic.
wants to make shit very interesting in basketball this year. So very
Wow.
interesting. U.S. women, congratulations. We move into Orioles Rays here. Albert Suarez versus Jeffrey Springs. I was a little surprised that uh, the Orioles were underdogs in this spot. You know, I know Albert Suarez is kind of like your sixth man swing guy for the Orioles, but he's pitched pretty well. Like, I mean, you can't, especially for a guy that you thought was going to give you basically nothing. He's been solid in his starts. It's funny, they got Trevor Rogers to kind of kick him out of the rotation, and then an injury happened to Grayson Rodriguez, and he comes right back in that, like, kind of return start to the rotation. 5 shutout innings against the Toronto Blue Jays to kind of firm up his spot and say, hey, I'm good enough to stay in this role, which I respect. Excuse me. 56% of the bets and 95% of the money on the Orioles here, LJ. And shockingly enough, this line was fishy for a reason. This opened up minus 112 for the Baltimore Orioles and has completely flipped to minus 111 Tampa Bay Rays now. That is crazy. And again, I'll say it, 56% of the bets and 95% of the money on the Baltimore Orioles here. That's shocking. On the total, we have 93% of the bets, 94% of the money on the over in kind of unsurprising fashion, and we've not moved at all from that opener 8 minus 115. This seems like a race spot here. LJ, what do you think?
I agree. It does. They're on sweep alert. And like you said, that line flipped and it flipped for a reason. So if I was a gambling man like that, I would definitely bet the Rays today. But I'm not going to do it. But I would lean to the over. The Orioles 14-4 to the over their last 18. And they're good versus the division. 26-10 to the run line and 29-11 to the over as a real favorite. But like you said, that line flipped. So it flipped for a reason. And both these teams know each other. The Orioles have a good record versus the Rays, too. I'm not sure what it is, but they've won like a lot between these teams. So the Rays could easily come get some revenge today. It won't really matter. The Orioles, like I said, have already won 2 games in this series. So for you to sweep a team is highly unlikely, in my opinion, in baseball. So Rays could definitely be live today, but I'm not going to invest anything on it.
I will. I'm going to be on the Tampa Bay Rays here. I'll take a minus 110. Obviously, if you bet this like 2 hours ago, you probably get a better line, but it is what it is. Tampa Bay Rays full game money line. And Kelly, I think it is shocking since I think you're a little mistaken. Obviously, Baltimore is the better baseball team, but if this line opens up at what was it, minus 112 Baltimore, and all the more bets and money are on Baltimore, and we flip to Tampa Bay being favored. Shocking stuff there, Kelly. Shocking stuff. So I'm on Tampa Bay because of that reason. It's going to be very interesting to watch how the market, is the market right or wrong in this situation. Be a fun watch. All right, next game. I'm on this officially. We'll go to the Padres and Marlins game. 2 pitchers that, well, at least one pitcher that has been on fire recently, Dylan Cease. Arguably the best pitcher in baseball over the last month or so. You could say that. Someone will have to remind me why I only went 1 inning last time out. I guess that was probably a rain
The
delay.
rain. It was the rain.
Okay, cool. So that's rain delay thing. So we'll just ignore that. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run against the Dodgers. He had his no hitter against the Nationals the next day. Again, I kind of want to fade guys that are on this hot streaks, but that rain delay start, if anything, that just kind of gave him some rest. Has him feeling better now. So I'm a little worried about that aspect. And, obviously the Marlins bats, not anything you want to really be confident about. On the other side, Max Meyer, who I've really been into. He came up, pitched well to begin with, got sent down, and then came back up. and has not pitched well since he's come back. 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 innings, 6 earned runs in his 3 appearances back in the majors so far. It's worrisome. I want to back him because of his pedigree, but I think I need to see him pitch better before I even consider going to the window with him, or at least give me a sign in the markets to make me feel better about backing this guy. The least 86% of the bets, 87% of the money on the San Diego Padres here. Opened up at minus 195. I'm going to give my odd sheet a little refresh here, but opened up at minus 195, about 190 now. I'm bet online for the Padres here. It got up to 200 at one point, 210, and it's come back down. Again, I understand if you like Max Meyer and you want to consider backing the Padre or the Marlins here. I understand that completely. I just don't trust the Marlins bats here to try to get enough done on Dylan Cease. So I'm staying off. Justin likes the Dylan Cease over 7.5 strikeouts. Robert Franklin likes the Padres and the under in a little same game parlay here as well. So that's interesting, but I'm not moving on it here. A lot of Rays love as well, which just makes me feel better about having the Rays in the last game. LJ, what do you think?
I'm right there with you, man. I am on these Padres. I like all the stuff that the guys put in the chat. Dylan Cease, you just mentioned, has been reeling. The Padres have won 7 in a row, 9 out of the last 10. Dylan Cease won his last 5 starts. He's went 7 innings in all those starts. 4 of those starts were shutouts. So he's been the man. 3.4 ERA, 1 earned run in his last 5 starts. And like you mentioned, it was a little rain delay, which he left early the last game. So that gives him some rest today, Jose. And I believe that he is going to mow these Marlins down. I don't trust their bats, like you just mentioned. They are on sweep alert, but I'm not worried because sometimes teams do get swept, especially if you're horrible like the Marlins. Going against a Padres team that is great on the road for the most part. So yeah, I'm on the run line, -1.5. You give me what number you can get me. Definitely on that. And I'm also looking at Cease as well. I was going to look at his 7+ Ks. I was going to bring it down, and I was going to take the Padres for the win at -120 because I believe Perez, he had 6 Ks Friday. I believe Cease can get 7, at least 7. It's at 7.5. He might get burned on that hook. So I'm going to
Yeah.
drop it to 7. Padres for the win, -120. And I'm going to get the run line on the Padres as well because I just don't trust the Marlins. Home dog, 0-12, Jose, as a +105 dog since June 22nd of 2022. So that's just horrible right there. They do go over as well at home. So I wouldn't mind the over. They're the number 1 over team in the league, 43-17-2. But like I said, their bats are not showing up. Now, they scored 8 runs yesterday, which was the highest they scored since June 18th. So 5 out of the 10 games this month have gone 3 runs or less. So I believe that the Padres bring the Marlins back down to their average of 3 runs or less, and they take care of business on the run line, -1.5.
Hey, well, beautiful work there. I like it. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. I can see why people are on the Marlins as well. Not much movement on them. I get it, but I'm not going to move on either one. Morgan Spooner likes Dylan Cease outs as well. I don't hate that as well. So let's keep it rolling here into a bit of a dumpster fire game in Milwaukee. Reds, Brewers here. DL Hall making another start. Once upon a time, DL Hall was supposed to be a pretty good Orioles prospect. Now traded away. I forgot what the deal was that got him to the Milwaukee Brewers here, but has not pitched in quite a long time. Reactivated from a knee injury. 4 earned runs and 3 2/3, 3 1/3, 5 earned runs against his former team as his last 2 starts. And like I said, those were a long ass time ago. His minor league starts: 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 5 innings, 2 hits, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Pretty good, but honestly, DL Hall is a young pitcher that I don't want to back mainly ever. And especially coming off the 60-day IL, which made this line really confusing to me and just really made it fishy for me. Coming off the IL, 60 days, a guy that has not had any major league success starting on the mound, minus 104, basically, pick him. I was like, okay, my red flags are already up here. The spidey senses were tingling. I was like, man, am I going to have to bet DL Hall right now? Because, again, on normal circumstances, I'm not betting this fucking guy. Like, I don't want to back him and find out, like, how healthy this guy is. But that line is very, very telling. Now, let's go to the markets and see here what it all has to say. 70% of the bets, but only 49% of the money on the Milwaukee Brewers. So bigger bets are on the Reds, which I kind of would figure here, honestly. But minus 10. Wow. This goes, and I'm going to refresh 105 one more time. This goes for minus 105 each way and has been steamed all the way up to minus 124 Milwaukee Brewers. That is just crazy to me. That is red flags flashing. It just sound the alarms. I think after saying just 2 seconds ago that I do not want to back this fucking guy, I think this has to be bet now on the card. I just, that line movement is not happening for no reason. And the ticket count and all that stuff is very fishy as well. So give me the Brewers here in a spot that I don't love and I don't like, but I'll take the Brewers here minus 128 full game money line. What do you think,
LJ? I think it's going to be over, to be honest, because like you said, this pitcher hasn't pitched in a while. So ain't no telling what he's going to be throwing out there. And the Reds are on sweep alert. I mean, they've lost the first 2 games. So I can easily see them keeping this game close just for pride, let alone. And Lodolo, he hasn't been as bad as of late. He has a 4.99 ERA at home, but on the road, 2.84. 4-1 his last 6 starts. So he's been good on the road. So I could easily see the Reds keeping it close. And now to say they win is a different story because the Brewers are good and the bats have been hot. They've won 6 out of the last 8. And they also are 13-4 in the 3rd game of a home series. But I lean more towards the over. 23, 12, and 4 to the over as a home favorite. I see a lot of runs, so I would take the over, but I didn't bet anything.
Well, I'm officially on, and luckily my local's giving me a little break here. So I'm getting minus 125 Milwaukee Brewers. Just that is one of the more interesting line movements we've had all year. I just cannot fathom a 20+ cent movement towards the Milwaukee Brewers with a basically rookie coming back off the 60-day IL. It seems like Nick Lodolo is going to get touched up today here. Saying that out loud as well, OJ, makes me want to look at a first 5 team total over here. Okay. I have taken a few of these and I lost my first, I think literally my first one yesterday with the Astros, but that was a 2.5. The 1.5s have been really cashing for me. Oh, I lost the White Sox as well, 1.5. I remember that as well yesterday. They scored 1 and then couldn't muster up another one for me. But I'm going to do it again here today. And for the people that say I don't take favorites, I don't take enough juice, blah, 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 suck it, because Milwaukee Brewers official minus 125 for me, and official as well. First 5 team total over 1.5 for these Milwaukee Brewers. Just 1.5. Well, minus 160 for me here. Wherever you are, Pete. Shout out to you.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Gotta lay that juice. So I'm on officially here. It's gonna be a fun game, and I'll be sweating this one out now for sure. LJ, I don't know about you, but the way I bet, I find it so much easier to bet underdogs and take the plus money. So when I have to lay this much juice on a bet, those are the bets that really stress me out. Like those are the bets I have to watch, and I have to just be like focused in. I cannot watch like an underdog bet and tune in later and be like, oh, okay, we got our ass kicked, whatever. But these juice prices, I have to watch every pitch because There's a lot of money to be laying on the line for this shit. So,
I got
all
you.
right, let's keep it rolling here. Cleveland, Minnesota. Tanner Bybee, David Festa on the bump here. Shout to Gavin Williams for pitching a gem last night and giving us that dub on the Guardians last night. Tanner Bybee is on the hill now. By the way, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, essentially the same person in my head. Let's talk Bybee here. 3 starts, all great here. Last 3 back-to-back against Detroit. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 inning, 1 earned run. Impressive. Has not pitched since the 29th. And it looked like he got his start skipped last time because of a little shoulder discomfort. It was a little worrisome if you're going to back him here. But like I said, 3 straight starts of brilliance, back-to-back against the Tigers, domination, 5 2/3 shutout against the Padres. And it's funny, he faced the Tigers 3 times in 3 out of 4 times and pitched well in those last 2. Opened up his first one against them, 7 innings, 4 earned runs. So not too bad, but not too great either. Man, this was a tough game, honestly. I didn't know which way to go in this one. David Festa is a young pitcher that I don't know much about here. When you get a pitcher from Seton Hall, you always have to make a note of it. I'll tell you that. His first 2 starts in the majors were shit. And then from then on, he's been great. 4 1/3, 1 earned run, 5 2 earned runs. Cubs last time out, 5 innings shutout. So I respect it. I've watched his strikeout numbers, by the way, climb. I have a friend of mine. It's a gambling guy, and he texted in our gambling group chat bright and early. David Festa over K is here today, so I'm not going to be moving on it. But you guys, if you guys are interested, K to walk ratio, by the way, 30 strikeouts, 6 walks. He has as many home runs allowed as walks, 6 and 6. So that's very funny. Market in this game. Maybe we get some clarity this way. 56% of the bets, only 44% of the money on the Twins. So pretty split gambling wise as well. Wow. Apparently I need to double check this line here as well. This line opened up -113 Cleveland Guardians. And again, has flipped -117 now. Minnesota Twins with 50-50 ticket splits is pretty crazy to see this line movement. LJ, what do you think?
No, I stayed off. Like you mentioned, Festa, I don't know too much about. He doesn't have a good sample size, in my opinion, to gauge anything off of him. Bybee's been 5-2 on the road. He has a 3 ERA. But like you said, it's a tricky game. This is the 4th game of this set. So I usually don't bet on the 4th game because I just think they're throwaways, in my opinion. This is a divisional game, so I probably would lean the Twins since because they're at home, and the Guardians are 3-7 in their last 10, so they haven't been playing good ball. But I didn't have a good feeling on this game, so I just passed.
Yeah, pass game for you, LJ. I'm gonna write down Minnesota Twins here. I've got them at -117 now, which is kind of excessive. But if I don't have any that much action here, I think I'm going to move on the Twins here as well. A lot of Guardians love in the chat does not make me feel great either as well. But we'll see. I've got Twins written down. Not an official play on the card yet, but I am interested in them here. Nice to see Dabby Cab in the chat here as well. Morgan Spooner dropping his knowledge. Thank you as always. And yes, by the way, clear bullpen advantage for the Guardians. I'll mention real quick, the Guardians, they had only Cade Smith, Clase, and Gaddis throw yesterday, and Clase only threw 13 pitches. So he will definitely be available for them today. Twins-wise, only Josh Winder threw yesterday, so their full bullpen will be ready, especially after Friday. They all threw, basically, and they got a day off yesterday. Johan Duran, Griffin Jacks, both available for the Twins. So 2 good bullpens. I think we had an interesting game. I probably lean under in this game as well. This game definitely does have under written all over it. Marking that real quick, 82% of the bets, 79% of the money on the over in this game. Went from an 8.5 -110 is now down to an 8 And Bovada is actually showing a 7.5 already. Nowhere else is, but that is very interesting nonetheless. So yeah, under for me in that game if I had to bet the total, but we will continue moving on, and we might come back to that game here. Braves Rockies. Spencer Swellenbach. And you guys know my general rule. If you have a young rookie pitcher coming into Coors, it's typically a fade because they've never pitched in Coors, the altitude, the elevation, et cetera, et cetera. And I just went to go look at good old Spencer Swellenbach. No Colorado starts. So it is lining up that I might have to be fading this guy. And you guys, if you guys watch the program daily, you guys know that I am now officially anti-Braves. I have the Braves not to make the playoffs at plus 375. And speaking of futures, by the way, Jimmy the Bag and I, we talked about how I think the Dodgers are vulnerable. We talked about how the Padres to win the division was like plus 1,300. The next day is plus 800. Now the Padres are only 2.5 games back of the Dodgers. So very interesting. So keep a note of these futures when we try to give them out. But I think Swellenbach might be in for a rude awakening here. There's, very few pitchers that can go into Coors and have success immediately. I remember distinctly one of the Braves pitchers doing it to me. I forget who it was. It's not Spencer, thankfully. 87% of the bets and 94% of the money on the Braves here. And this line opened up at minus 162, minus 165, and it is now minus 162. So barely any movement on this line with all the money on the Braves. Definitely has me thinking that the Rockies must be bet here in some form or fashion. I'm looking to see what I can bet on them now. Kyle Freeland is someone that I typically trust as well. He's not the best pitcher, but he's certainly not the worst either. You could do much worse than him. So I have no action yet, but I'm looking at the Rockies. LJ, what do you think?
I initially was looking at the Braves team total over 5.5. Just because the Rockies, they allow 6.5 runs their last 5 games. They give up 5.5 at home. But I didn't bet it just because it's 5.5. And they can land right on that 5 again. They hit it yesterday, but the first game they hit right at 5, and I took it and I lost by the hook. And I like Freeland. He's a good pitcher for the Rockies. Like you mentioned, those guys coming in first time, they don't fare well in Coors. So I could easily see the Rockies pulling this out. But I'm not going to bet it just because I don't want to bet on the Rockies. They are a home dog for a reason. But you just mentioned the Braves. Their lineup hasn't been good as of late. They got a lot of injuries going. And you're saying that they're not going to make the playoffs. And you know what, Jose? I can probably ride with you on that. They may miss it. And I don't want to invest in any money with them as far as winning the game. But the team total is looking real good just because the Rockies could give up 6 or 7 runs and they could still win the game because they could put up a lot. So even in case may be, I lean that, but I stayed away just because I like Freeland and I think the Rockies are live today.
Interesting. By the way, Vitalis. Here we go, guys. I want you to look at the past Coors Field and look towards the umpire as his mother was the father of his under. The point of all this was to say Vitalis likes the under 10.5 in this game. Vitalis, that got very confusing very quickly here. But take the under 10.5 is what Vitalis is trying to say in this game here. Okay. We get you, Vitalis. It took me a second to get what you were throwing down, but I got you. All right. It's funny. One of my odds sites not working for me right now. Oh, there we go. Actually, just as I said that, obviously it goes back up. Yeah, it's funny that this line opened up minus 165. It jumps up 10 cents to minus 175 and comes back down. I'm going to move on the Rockies here. Maybe I'll look like an ass clown. But I'll double up in my consistent double up that I've been doing recently. Colorado money line and Colorado first 5 team total over. And since we're in Coors, we're getting a 2.5 here, which, as everyone knows, is not my favorites. But I'll take it 2.5 plus 130. So we'll take that. And full game money line plus 148 for me. So let's go Rocks. Let's go Rocks. All right, let's keep it rolling here. 3 more games left on the slate. Actually, 4 more games left on the slate here. LJ from H-Town joining us for Tigers versus the Giants here. A pitching matchup that did nothing for me. Kiter Montero versus Hayden Birdsong. And I'll give Kiter his flowers. He has been surprisingly good on the mound. Especially if you've been backing him in certain spots. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run in his last appearance. He had a bunch of bad starts, and he snuck in another 6 1/3 shutout against Cleveland. I kind of feels like this is what Kiter Montero is. He'll go really good 6 earned run performance, and then he'll follow that up with 7 4 earned runs, 5 innings, 6 earned runs, stuff like that. So once that consistency comes down, maybe he can be a pitcher that I like him back here, but this was not the spot for me. And Hayden Birdsong is a pitcher that I've actually gotten just completely wrong since he's been up. Like I faded him several points, and he's just been pitching great. And of course, the last start, I don't fade him. It's 2 innings, 7 earned runs. So I'm off. I expect him to have a bounce back start. Tigers offense isn't good enough for me here. And maybe the Giants come through on Kiter, but just way too pricey, way too juice for me. This should probably be like minus 150, honestly, but nothing here for me, LJ. What do you think?
I would lean Giants. I like Birdsong. I have won some money on him past couple of games, especially with the strikeouts when he goes against a bottomless team. He is at home, and his 3 starts at home, he's been hot. Rockies, he gave up no earned runs. Twins, 1 earned run. Cubs, 3 earned runs. So at home, he's good. And the Tigers, 3rd game of a road series is a bad situation for them because they're only 3-15 in that situation. And they're on sweep alert as well. So I think they're a road dog for a reason. 3-7 in their last 10. And the Giants, I believe they got him today. Birdsong is a good pitcher for them, and I trust that he can get the win today. They're 13-4 in the 3rd game of a home series as well for the Giants. So all signs point to the Giants. That money line is juicy. You just mentioned, and the run line, I think, is plus 117, somewhere around there. So I heavily lean to the run line, but I didn't pull the trigger. I'm going to wait till later on to see how money's looking for the most part. But right now is official. It's just a lean. Giants on the run line.
Makes sense. Yeah. Birdsong, bounce back, Giants run line for Robert Franklin here as well. And yeah, I think Birdsong would be a great country singer name, Andrew G. You're right. He in his pastime, like Adam Wainwright, he'll probably make a country album and put that shit out. And it might be a banger. Who knows? Let's keep it rolling. So nothing here for me. LJ leaning towards Los Gigantes here. We have 3 more games left, and this one is a big one. A very fun game. I have bet the Diamondbacks in each game of these series now. I'm now 2-1, obviously, on these bets. And I was semi-interested in today again. Merle Kelly back in our lives. A pitcher that I very much like. Honestly, the issue obviously is that he's coming off the 60-day IL with a shoulder injury, and I don't really love backing any pitcher coming off the IL in general. Merle Kelly only had 1 rehab start, which better than Eduardo Rodriguez, I guess, but 1 rehab start, obviously some bullpens as well. 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 1 home run allowed, no walks in the rehab start for him. Like I said, I just don't want to back you off your rehab or off your IL stints, and I say that as I'm backing DL Hall today, but that's a lot of line movement based stuff right there. So it's going to be a very interesting game to watch. And yes, Andrew G, this definitely could be the National League NLCS here, as we definitely saw it last year. I can't confirm it could be the case. These are really good teams. I think the Phillies are obviously the best team in baseball, but I'm not afraid to fade them. Not afraid to fade them at all. 61% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Phillies in this game opened up at minus 105 each way, and his climb to minus 120 to the Philadelphia Phillies. Actually got up to minus 129 at one point as well. So I understand it. I'm not going to be on the Diamondbacks today. It will be my first day not betting the Diamondbacks this whole weekend. But like I said, I just don't want to try to hope that Merle Kelly comes back 100%, et cetera, and then he gives us 4 or 5 innings, and then we have a Diamondbacks bullpen that truly doesn't inspire too much confidence. They've been 11th since the All-Star break, 3.75 ERA. Been pitching pretty okay, but not for me. No action for me here. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. What can we expect from Kelly coming off the injury? And Sanchez, I think he's better at home than he is on the road. I could be wrong about that, but when I see him pitch, I see him pitch better at home for the most part. He has pitched versus these Diamondbacks early in the season, and he gave up no earned runs in 7 innings. So he pitched a gem. So he could easily probably do it again today. This is the 4th game of the set. Like I just mentioned, I don't particularly like betting 4 games in a set. I like to only stick to 3, but this is the 4th game, and I don't know. I mean, Kettle Marte went out the game yesterday with an ankle, so he's not in the lineup today. That's the person I really, really been winning money on for the most part. But other than that, I'm with you, Jose. I stayed away because I don't know what to expect from Kelly. But the over is live. Phillies 9 out of their last 11 has gone to the over. So if you're expecting a lot of runs, I could definitely see how you could look at the over. But other than that, I stayed off as well just because I don't know what to expect from Kelly.
Agreed there. And yes, whoever asked, yes, this is Kelly's first appearance in the majors since January, February, March, April. Since April, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been a while. I just don't want to back him here. And yeah, by the way, that Marte injury, because he's probably been the hottest hitter in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Just been on fire, and then watching him get his ankle kind of rolled up on was very disappointing because he has been, like I said,
after hitting a home run.
Very good. Yeah. He's just been that guy. So all right, let's keep it rolling here. 2 games left on our card. One of these games a lot more difficult to bet than the other one here. Minus 262 for Tyler Glasnow and the Los Angeles Dodgers here. It makes the minus 109 price we got yesterday look hilarious. And I think obviously that is 99% Paul Skeens. But we have to, at this point, guys, we have to start taking advantage of these lines they're giving Paul Skeens. They're getting a little excessive, especially on teams that have already seen him once.
Yeah.
But I understand anyone that's on Dodgers minus 1.5 here. Justin's on it. Bailey Falter, not a guy that I makes me feel better about myself when I back him. I don't feel like a smart guy betting Bailey Falter. I'm not slapping ass, be like, yeah, guys, I bet Bailey Falter today. Just not what I want to do here. Dodgers against lefties have been, pretty middling since the All-Star break at the very least. 92 weighted runs created plus, 22nd in the league. So maybe if you're feeling, good about the Dodgers or the Padres the Pirates offense, you can take it like that. But I just don't want to move on this game. I've said all year that this Dodgers team is not going to win the World Series. They're going to be, they're sure they might win this division, but I will fade them in the playoffs. And I think they're a good fade team going forward, honestly, as well. And you guys in the chat are saying it. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez have been carrying this team for the last couple of weeks. That is not good. That is not a good sign because what happens when he takes off the gas? We'll see what happens. Obviously Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman are all coming back. Ohtani is going to win MVP. So I'm sure they're going to get scary at some point. But I'm telling you guys, in the playoffs, the Dodgers will be a fade, and I will be fading them for sure. Kelly McInnes is saying Glasnow has been mediocre at best, in his opinion, on Pittsburgh plus 1.5, plus 110. I don't hate that look at all, honestly. What do you think here, LJ?
I don't hate that look either. They on sweep alert. So it means the Dodgers have already won 2 games in this series. So I am not mad at that run line for the Pirates. I didn't make a play. Like you just mentioned, the Dodgers are tricky. Their lineup is fluctuating here and there. They're getting players back. And if Hernandez, like you mentioned, is leading your team in batting right now, that's a problem. But I am going to take Ohtani's over 1.5 bases today because he's coming off a no-hit game. So I always take him off a no-hit game, and usually he smacks a home run off a no-hit game. So I'm definitely going to take that. But I can't invest with the Pirates, even though I like the run line. 6 in a row, they've lost 2 and 8 in their last 10. They're a road dog for a reason, a hefty road dog for a reason. So I stayed away from a side, but my official play in this game is definitely Ohtani over 1.5 bases.
That makes sense. I mean, he's currently having the greatest DH season of all time. He's going to be the first DH to win MVP. Makes a whole lot of sense. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch how this game goes. Abel, I'm sure you feel great about the Dodgers right now, Abel. I'm sure you feel great. You had a 10-game lead. It's down to 2.5 games. You blow games to the fucking Tigers late when you're down or you're up like 6 runs. I'm sure you're feeling great about the Dodgers' chances this year, Abel. Good luck. Good luck. We'll see who's making it out of the National League. I'm telling you guys, it is going to be a parade over here when it's going to happen. And thank God that Alex Cora re-signed with the Red Sox because it had it all right there for the Dodgers. You lose this World Series and playoffs berth in dramatic fashion. You fire Dave Roberts and you hire the best manager in baseball. Instead, you're going to be stuck with Dave Roberts, who fucking sucks. So have fun with that, fucking Dodgers fans. It's going to be fun. Mets, Mariners, last game on our card. Luis Castillo, Luis Severino. It's funny that of the 2 pitchers on the bump here today, I've been a bigger Severino guy than Castillo guy, even though we can pretty objectively say that Castillo is better. But it is just much more appealing, or at least was much more appealing to back Severino than Castillo. Obviously, the lines have a lot to do with that, expectations, et cetera, but I don't know. It continues to be a struggle for me to back Luis Castillo. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 shutout for his last appearances. Just never, like I said, really, when I back him, really never gives me the effort that I'm hoping for. Maybe I have too high of expectations for Luis Castillo. It has been said that I do that with him. So maybe that's true. But we talked about Luis Severino last time out. He was one of my guys that I backed throughout the whole season. And we finally come to a place where I'm like, okay, we're at 128 and 2/3 innings pitched right now. The last time he got over this mark was 2018. His last 2 seasons, 89 innings pitched, 102 innings pitched. He for me is officially at the red zone where I'm like, okay, I can't back you anymore. You're too high of innings pitched. I don't know how your body's feeling. So I'm off. I'm off the Luis Severino train. I can't back him anymore. I will only try to be fading him, really. And kind of the same thing with Luis Castillo. So I stayed off this game. LJ, what do you think?
I got 2 plays in this game. Definitely like the Mets. I'm on with Ron Crawford. I got the Mets money line plus 126. They're on sweep alert, and Seattle doesn't sweep teams a lot. And the fact that the Mets have won 18 straight series without being swept. It's one of the best streaks in the league right now. So I'm going to trust that's going to happen again. They don't score a lot of runs at home in Seattle, so I can definitely look at the under as well. So I'm on the under 7.5, I believe is that. Seattle 41-21 to the under at home. So I believe all things point to an under, and I believe the Mets will pull out the game today. And you also can look at Lindor, because in the 3rd game of a road series, he's 17-0 to the over 1.5 hit, 13-4 to the 2+ bases. So that's a good batter prop for today for Lindor for the Mets. You have mentioned Severino's been shaky, every now and then, but hey, I'm trusting that Seattle's already won 2 games in this series. They don't probably want to have any sense of urgency to win this 3rd game. And the Mets play well in this spot. and I'm going to trust that they at least get one game out of this series. So I'm going to take the big dog. Plus 126 is what I got for the Mets on the money.
All right. Beautiful. I like that look, LJ. I mean, everyone knows I'm a dog hunter here. So dogs, always for me here. By the way, quickly marketing that game. I don't know if I mentioned it here. 28% of the bets, but 74% of the money on the New York Mets here. So big, sharp action on the Mets. Line has slightly moved to Luis Castillo 4 cents, but it got up to minus 137, has climbed down a little bit. So it's just a tough game for me to read market wise. I'd rather have the Mets and the dub plus money here if I had to make a bet in this game too. So I agree with you there. All right, let's recap our action here, LJ. It's going to be very interesting to see here. By the way, shout out to my guy, Barry Smith. I have not seen Barry in a long time now. I'm up almost 10 units, and Barry Smith is finally back. I apparently owed Barry a bunch of money because of all my losing picks, and now he missed the hot streak, it seems. But it's nice to see you, Barry, as always. Thanks for watching and commenting. All right, my official plays here. LJ, I'll quickly just go off right now. I'm going to be on the Red Sox, or I should say I am on the Red Sox, plus 128 in full game money line. Tampa Bay Rays, minus 110. Milwaukee Brewers, minus 125. That's for all the people that say I don't take favorites. And Milwaukee first 5 team total over 1.5, minus 160. Again, those really juice bets, they tend to mean a lot to me. So I need them to hit more than usual. So I'll be stressing about that one, especially. Minnesota money line minus 117, and my Rockies double up as well. Rockies full game money line plus 128, and first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 130 rounds out my card. LJ, please bless the people.
Yes, sir, Jose. I got 5 solid plays I feel confident about today. We're going to start off with the Yankees and Rangers. Over 5 in the first 5. Take the Padres, minus 1.5. Easy money. Everybody's on it, so hopefully it cashes because I am kind of hesitant when everybody's on one side, but this is the Padres and the Marlins, so I'm pretty sure they'll get that run line. And I'm also on Cease, 7+ Ks, and the Padres to win at minus 120. I'm on Ohtani, over 1.5 bases, coming off a no-hit game. And last, we have the Mets. Big dog, plus 126 money line over the Seattle Mariners. Those are my 5 plays.
All right, beautiful. It seems like we both locking in here today, LJ. Thank you, as always, for joining me.
Yes,
what's going on in LJ world?
Oh, man, we're going to take it light today. I'm doing some football notes for the NFL, which is fast approaching, ladies and
Fuck
gentlemen.
yeah, it is. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yes, it's fast approaching, and I'm going to get all my content together and start back up my podcast. Raw Words Podcast on YouTube. Will be streaming next week, putting out some content because I got to get this football going. It's going to be an exciting season. And, of course, y'all know about my Texans. We're looking to have a great season this year. So,
yeah,
stay tuned.
Yeah. Is this the best that Texans fans have felt about the Texans in like 10 years?
Yeah,
Shit.
pretty much. So, yeah, we're excited, man. So, yeah, that's going to be going on for me this week. And hopefully we can get some winnings today. Thank you, Jose, for letting me join you as always. And, of course, man, shout out to the chat, everybody. Andrew G, AOD, Justin McAfee, Kelly, Just Stone, everybody, man. Ron Crawford, everybody that supports the Pub Sports Radio, man. We thank y'all, and let's continue to get this money.
Yes, let's continue to do so. And yeah, I since living in Texas, this is probably the most exciting Texans team there has been. And the most exciting Texans team that I can think of was, I don't know if Matt Schaub started, but it was obviously TJ Yates, the Yates of hell. That was my exciting and favorite Texans team, but this should be a very fun Texans team to watch this year, especially for fantasy football. So it's going to be fun. All right. Thank you guys. Justin, my dude, Phil, Danny, Kerbasos, even though he said that my Rockies bet straight dummy. Donnie, actually. Donnie, I hope you're here on Monday morning for Medicate Monday, so you can either rub it in my face or I can call you a big dumb bitch. Who knows? But either way, Donnie, I hope you're watching the programs. Thanks for watching today, even though you don't like some of the bets. It's all right. Abel, thank you for watching as well, even though I don't agree with your Dodgers opinions, but that's what makes all this fun. So thank you guys. Panger, all you guys, Markel, thanks for not asking to see my tits today, Markel. So it's appreciated that. And that's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day for baseball here. So appreciate you guys. Say hey, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for Medicate Monday. Tune in.